Our reverse lunge overhead tricep press is a strength and stability move for those quads, hamstrings, and glutes in that lower body, that core in that middle, and our triceps and a little bit of shoulders in that upper body. So, starting position for this, we're going to grab those weights. We're going to use either 2 weights or you can use 1 single weight. It is up to you for this exercise. If you're using 2, bring them together. We're going to come up overhead, and then we're going to lower them down in the bottom portion of that overhead tricep press. So keep those elbows in as close as you can. Dumbbells are nice and low here. We're then going to combine this movement with that reverse lunge. So step back into that reverse lunge, keep that torso up, get down nice and low. As you're coming up and forward, we're going to extend those weights on up in the top portion of that overhead tricep press. We're then going to step back with that other leg, and at the same time, lower those weights back on down. So alternating legs, keeping those abs tight, and at the top of each one, we're adding in that overhead tricep press or that overhead tricep extension. Most common mistakes made on this exercise: 1, not being comfortable with each of those moves individually. So if you've not done them before, I strongly encourage you to go watch our demonstration videos for our overhead tricep press and our reverse lunge separately. Get comfortable with those 2 movements before combining those 2 together here. Another big common mistake made is not keeping our abs engaged. What that's going to look like here is we'll a lot of times kind of fall forward as we come down, and then as we press, we'll kind of arch that back over to get those weights up. So make sure that that core is engaged. We're keeping upright as we drop down low in that lunge, squeezing those abs as we press overhead so that that back is not arching at the top. Next biggest mistake I see made is not combining these into one fluid movement, but instead doing them separately. So I'll see people do that lunge, come up, overhead press, lunge, overhead press. Technically, you're still going to be doing that movement here, but we want to combine these into one fluid motion so that we're able to get that heart rate up and to keep moving on these. So make sure that as you step up and forward, we're extending up, stepping right back into that lunge, and as we're lowering back down, we're already lowering those weights down behind the head. Last most common mistake made is reversing when you do that overhead tricep extension. So sometimes I'll see people switch it. They'll drop down here and press up and then lower it back as they step up. Once you get comfortable with the correct way to do that, that way is going to be a lot more awkward because one muscle group is lowering as the other one is going to be pressing. They're going to be opposite from each other, whereas when we're coming up with that normal or correct way of doing it, we're extending with that entire body. So make sure that you slow these down, get comfortable with each individual move, then start pairing them together and working on being nice and smooth with that fluid movement.